What do you get when you mix football and organized crime? Well, the answer is the notorious gang of Chelsea Headhunters. For decades, this group has terrorized the streets of London with their violent tactics and criminal activities. But who are they exactly? And how did they become one of the most feared gangs in the UK? In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the history of the Chelsea Headhunters. The Chelsea Headhunters first emerged in the 1960s as a group of football hooligans who supported the Chelsea Football Club. They were known for their violent clashes with rival fans, particularly those of West Ham United and Tottenham Hotspur. The group's name was allegedly inspired by the infamous American motorcycle gang, the Hells Angels. But it wasn't until the late 1970s that the Chelsea Headhunters began to engage in more serious criminal activity. They became involved in drug trafficking, extortion, and protection rackets, targeting businesses in and around London. Their tactics were brutal, often using violence and intimidation to get what they wanted. However, it was the group's involvement in racially motivated attacks that brought them national attention. In the 1980s, the Chelsea Headhunters began targeting Black and Asian people in what they called "packy bashing" and nigger hunting campaigns. These attacks led to numerous arrests and convictions, and the gang was labeled as a racist organization. Despite the increased scrutiny, the Chelsea Headhunters continued their criminal activities throughout the 1990s and early 2000s. They were linked to several high-profile incidents, including the murder of a nightclub bouncer in 1999 and a large-scale drug bust in 2002. They were involved in numerous criminal activities, including violence at football matches. The Chelsea Headhunters were known for their violent clashes with rival football fans, particularly those of Tottenham Hotspur. These incidents often resulted in injuries and arrests. Drug trafficking. Members of the Chelsea Headhunters were involved in large-scale drug trafficking operations, including the importation of cocaine from Colombia. Firearms offenses. Some members of the group were also involved in firearms offenses, including possession and use of illegal firearms. Fraud. The Chelsea Headhunters were involved in various fraud schemes, including credit card fraud and insurance fraud. Money laundering. Members of the group were also involved in money laundering activities, which were used to conceal their illegal earnings. Today, the Chelsea Headhunters are still active, although their influence has waned in recent years. Many of the gang's leaders have been arrested and imprisoned, and the group has splintered into smaller factions. The story of the Chelsea Headhunters is a cautionary tale about the dangers of organized crime. What started as a group of football fans with a penchant for violence turned into a criminal enterprise that terrorized the streets of London for decades. While the gang's influence may have diminished, their legacy lives on as a reminder of the destructive power of greed and hatred.